Hey everyone, and welcome back to That Engineering Girl. Rura here, your engineering girl, engineering her life and sharing that story with you. So, you may or may not know this, but I have been on a self-discovery journey for about a year now. And throughout this past year, I've implemented small little changes in my life that have made it infinitely, like seriously, infinitely better. These small little changes have made me feel like I'm actually working towards my goals, have raised my moods, have made me feel lighter, and have also just given me this newfound calmness to approaching everyday life. So, because these small changes have had such a huge impact in my life, I want to share 5 of these small changes that I've implemented in my life that make it infinitely better. So, without further ado, let's get into it. Alright, so the first one, it may be unexpected coming from a person like me, especially if you know me personally, but that is singing at least once a day, and singing either something that makes you feel extremely powerful, that makes you feel like you have greatness coursing through your veins, or a song that just uplifts your mood, is super upbeat, and just makes you feel like you want to have fun. Now do this with your entire heart. You may feel very silly doing it, and yes, for the majority of the time, I do feel very silly doing this, but it has a very, very, very positive effect on your mood and just like bringing a lightness to your everyday life, like reminding you not to take life too seriously, like, hey, gotta work hard, gotta take that seriously, but we never, ever, ever take ourselves that seriously. So mine personally is Unstoppable by Sia. Sia, am I pronouncing that right? But I love her music, and Unstoppable is something that I personally I love. I love, love, love that song. And so that's what I usually listen to. But I have a few that I kind of rotate through. Sometimes they're silly, sometimes they make me just want to have fun. Sometimes they're like, unstoppable, that make me feel like, we are going to conquer today. So that is the one small change that I've made in my life, singing every day, that has made it infinitely better. So 2. Now, number 2, you may actually expect this, and that is training. Train at least at minimum 5 times a week, so almost every day, even when you don't feel like it. And I know you've probably heard this mantra over and over and over again from everyone who trains, but seriously, when I say that it makes me more calm, gives me more energy, makes me more alert, increases my focus, makes me feel more alive, brings lightness to my life, like uplifts my mood, and just brings this calmness to my day, where I've exerted myself so much in the morning that the rest of the day I can find this calmness and this standard and just maintain my energy. Training is just so good, and it's like an hour of your day every day, and it makes such a huge impact. So this is a second small change that I've made in my life that has made it infinitely better. Okay, so the third thing that I do that has made my life infinitely better is find a way to explore my spiritual side somehow during the day. Now, what this usually looks like for me is in the morning, I spend around a minute or so connecting with my religion. And what this looks like is I actually have this book. Let me actually grab it. Okay, so I got the book. It's called Timeless Seeds of Advice by Baby Abdullah. This is what it looks like. And essentially what this is each page is numbered, but that's probably not a good example. Each page is numbered, and it's something that I just read every single day. I read a page a day. It's very concise, very easy to digest and take in. And so this is a really good way for me to connect with my religion, so spiritual side, and just ponder on it for a minute. I spend maybe 5 minutes on this max, and it's just a really good way for me to ground myself, find once again that calmness, which is a really big part of what I'm looking for, is this calmness, maintaining a certain energy frequency, if you want to call it that. So this really helps with that. This has made a huge impact on my life. Super impactful. Now, number 4. Now, this is not meditation. This is not meditation. I'm gonna put this preface right from the get-go, but I give myself time to think. I like to do this every day. It does not happen religiously, like I do this every single day, but it's awesome if I can get this in every single day. But I do this at least a few times a week. Now what this is I give myself time to think. Now this is probably around 10 to 20-ish minutes, but what I do usually is I'll put on my headphones and put on some orchestral, am I pronouncing that right? I'm not sure, but orchestra music, or instrumental music that just really calls to my soul and just grounds me and just is not too much that it diverts my attention, but just can seclude me from my environment. So either I'll go outside and walk around on the grass, sit outside on a chair, or what I'll actually do is lay on this bed and just close my eyes and just take everything in. Now I don't want to say this is meditation because I'm not trying to clear my mind. I'm actually trying to connect with my mind. I'm trying to ask myself how I'm feeling, what are things that are bothering me, how are things going? What is my internal state? And why this has had such a huge impact in my life is because I can give myself these 15 to 20 minutes periodically throughout the week, or ideally every single day. Then for the rest of the day, my inner self is not nagging at me for attention, because that's usually what happens if you don't give yourself time. Your inner self is gonna nag at you for that time, and it's gonna get worse and worse and worse from my experience. So by giving myself this time to think, actually setting it aside to be like, okay, hey, how are you feeling? How are things going? What's bothering you? It makes my life and my day so much more better. All right, so the last thing that I do in my day, small thing that makes it infinitely better, is I read a little bit before bed. Now when I get into bed, I turn on this lamp that I have here for about 5 to 10 minutes. I read. It can be longer if I'm on a really good scene, but why I did this is because I was going through this huge, really long reader's block where I would love to read, and I found all kinds of cool, interesting books that I just really wanted to just absorb, but I would struggle with actually reading them because with this all or nothing mentality, I just felt like I needed to read the entire thing in one go. Like I needed to set aside 4 hours to sit and read a book. And that's just not viable with my schedule, and so I never got to pick up any books. I went through this super long reader's block where I just wasn't reading, although I absolutely love to read. So it was this huge paradox, and I hated it. I hated it that I wasn't reading even when I really wanted to read, but I had this huge inner barrier to reading. And so how I fix this is I give myself like 10 minutes every single day before bed to read, just some light reading, don't take it too seriously. And this way I can actually read, make moves, and just enjoy reading, because that's why I read. I don't read, to explicitly gain knowledge or, learn something, although those are two big benefits of reading. I read because I like to read, or more so, I love to read. And so being able to do this for myself, I was able to break that inner barrier and just get myself to move, to progress through my books. So that has made a huge impact in my life as well. So with that, those are 5 small things that I've implemented in my life that have made it infinitely better. I really hope you learned something. I hope you try some of these 5 things. And with that, until next time.